All right, welcome back, guys. Jet boat build is almost ready to deck out now. Not sure when you're going to be seeing this particular video since I'm behind on editing, but we'll just get into it and try and cover everything here. There's a lot that has been done since I last pulled out the camera. So I guess we'll start here at the front and work our way back. So just yesterday I finally put this trolling motor front cap on here. I was going to start cutting deck boards and then realized I should probably do that nose cap first. All I had to do was put that crossbar in there, and then 3 supports, and then this is just 1/8 inch plate, 1/8 inch sheet. It's got a little bend to it if you'd step in the center of it, but I didn't want to put supports underneath there just for ease of installation of the trolling motor. I feel like that doesn't have to be too overkill, even though right there is the trolling motor. It is an 80-pound Minn Kota Tarova with iPilot. I wanted to have the spot lock finally, so I figured I'd step it up to the saltwater grade since we do go in the ocean and the bay. So that's a pretty hefty beast there, which is the reason that this boat will run on a 24-volt system, except for the electronics and the accessories will be run to a 12-volt, but it'll be 2 onboard RV batteries, group 29s, to run the trolling motor. So there's the steering. Not much to say about that. I'm not going to get real into that. It's just a hinge point, pivot, through bolt. Stock jet ski throttle, and then this was on the other handlebar, which has the start button and the up and down tilt trim button. It's got electric trim. And then it would be passenger, captain seat. Both seats flip back to open up these stows and access ports. And then this will be a little flip door here, which opens up. This is all facing that way, so it's upside down for you, but main power, boat on, voltmeter, deck lights, 3 and 3 on them. Nice accent lighting. We have headlamps when we're out fishing. The red lights pointed inward, that's all you need. That's more than enough light. I'm not a big fan of the blue, green, white. Red's what you need when it's dark out. Keep your night vision. Nav lights, bilge, and then if I hit this power off, the boat's now off, and we have a float switch because we do a lot of unattended docking through nights and days at a time, so that'll kick the pump on even with the power turned off. The closer look at that for anyone that wants to utilize it for ideas. That's a ground bus bar and hot bar with fuses. It's got 1 hot coming in, and then all the accessories go to it, and then they're run to the switch. These switches don't come the way when you buy these switch panels. They come wired that you put 1 fuse that feeds all of these. You want to take off that red wire that comes with these that jump them all together and replace it with single wires running singly to each fuse. That way each switch has its own fuse. That way if you blow one, it won't blow the whole panel the way that it comes wired. And then it's just cigarette port and USB, dual USBs. We'll be using them. 2 batteries, waiting for interstate on the next one. There's the empty tray back there. Group 29s. Be 24 volt for the trolling motor, and then my 12 volt stuff is all coming to this battery. And then 2 storage bins back here. I'll panel the walls, like I said, because of the foam being in the side here, but I'm gonna leave a lot of this stuff open on the inside when you pop the hatch doors, because I like being able to get the stuff. There's the wire loom. for the engine assembly. Primer bulb. Fuel lines are routed into the subfloor. This is like a built-in, almost like conduit that runs up to the front. So they're hidden in there and then they come out fully protected. Mounted this bulb into a bracket I fabbed up. 2 end clamps holding it on there, nice and sturdy. There's the oil reservoir. I just ran it through this corner cap here when I put them back on. Decking's fairly simple this time around. Right there in front of the fuel tank, this will be a cabinet right here for the anchor and the life vests. As you see, the life vests will be pushed up front here, and then the anchor stow with rope will be in the main compartment. And then moving back, here's the fuel tank. Again, like I said, it'll just be one cabinet here, a cabinet here, and a cabinet over there. These are the 2 main gear storages, and I kept them wide open underneath. I didn't want to put any supports here, which is why I like working with this heavier eighth inch thickness aluminum. I was able to bridge all that in there and not have to put any supports, which allows me to utilize larger gear stow that can fill up that whole area in there. We do a lot of camping and adventuring, fishing, working, boating, crabbing. So it's nice to have. I don't like to, for my kits, I tend to stay away from how the guys use the storage totes, and they mount them permanently in there because it takes away from, like I said, you know, my diving kit when we go free diving in the river and stuff in the lakes. My diving kit is a baseball bag, and it's probably almost spans the whole width of that boat floor right here. So it's nice to be able to get bigger equipment into a single hatch compartment, rather than if I would kit them in like a lot of the Tiny Boat Nation guys do with the storage bins. It really limits what you're able to store in here. You know, you can get a full cooler in there, all kinds of stuff. The gas tank is the one out of the jet ski. It's only a 9-gallon. I was gonna build a custom one to 15-gallon, but I realized that just the aluminum to build it alone would weigh a lot. It would weigh as much as the trolling motor almost. Whereas this gas can, you can pick that up with your pinky. That gas can probably weighs about a pound, maybe 2 pounds, as opposed to the aluminum tank. If I made it, would have been over 50 pounds. So it's not a big deal, but I'm trying to get the most juice out of this setup as I can. So I'm really watching my weight, considering everything that I do, considering the weight of everything, you know, and keeping it as light as possible. Here's a little tip too for the guys that are going to be doing these jet ski systems like this. You can get custom cables made, but almost everyone tries to use the factory stuff for the reverse and for the steering and throttle. So as you can see here, that stick is on like a peninsula, whatever you call it. It sticks out. The deck juts outward right there to house that assembly. A lot of guys I've seen run their main deck out all the way just because of needing to house that stick assembly in the deck. And as you can see, I cut back a good 9 inches of foot room, which is going to mean that the seats will actually stick out a little beyond that. But it is nice because it does really open the floor up. You can imagine if this bar was moved up to here, how little this subfloor would then be. So it's crazy that I haven't seen many people do that, where they stick it out and then, you know, run the main beam further backward. And then here's the main jet skis ECU computer box. So this will be, I'll put a panel, again, all the side walls will be paneled, and then foam will be jammed in all the areas. And then up here is the onboard battery charger. It's a triple bank. I'm only using 2 banks for 2 batteries, so that's nice. You just this will be a long hatch door right here, just a small access one for this strip here, which will allow you to get to the rear at the bilge if it clogs. But also, this is the onboard charger. You just pop that out, close the door on the cord, plug it into the extension cord. Next morning you can have a full day of battery recovery from one night charge with that big Minn Kota charger. I like them. They're really they're awesome to have. And then be making an engine hood, a cowling, since that pipe sticks up 3-4 inches from what the floor will be. Here is the reverse. Again, just a simple hinge system. This is copper pipe in this case because they didn't have the right size aluminum to make this work with stability, so I had to go to copper instead. Soldered a cap on with a through bolt soldered to it, which allowed me to thread this on then with ease. So just a standard up down bucket for reverse. And that about covers it for this video, I'd say. I'm gonna be wrapping deck boards with carpet and hydroturf, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. I'm hoping to also get to painting it before the deck is laid final.